So welcome. This is a short video as an introduction to shamanic journey. For all of you who have signed up for the workshops or for the programs, or simply if you would like to try to do a shamanic journey, have an experience outside of the journey groups. I give you introduction to the context of shamanic journey, the instructions how to do it, and then at the end a short drumming session where you can journey and have an experience. So the fundamental understanding in shamanism is that everything has spirit and life. Not just humans, animals, plants, but also locations, so whole areas or specific areas, continents, the elements, the water, the fire, the clouds, all of what we have in nature, all what is present around us has spirit and has life. So when we communicate with what is considered to be our relations, our brothers, sisters, the elders around us. We communicate with spirit to receive guidance, to ask permission, to get healing, get information, ask questions. So one way of communicating with spirit is through shamanic journey. The technique of shamanic journey has existed for hundreds of thousands of years and is a cross-cultural technique. So you will find it in most indigenous communities, present in some form or the other. The particular way I will show you or present to you today is a journeying with the sound of the drum, which is a very traditional way of journey. Now, before we journey, let's just see, first of all, why would you choose it? I personally think it is the technique, the most direct. It's a direct technique to talk to spirit, and spirit not just as a guide or a teacher outside, but also the wisdom we have within. So it is from me to spirit, which I think is a healthy way of communication and something which we have to reconnect with. In our society, we have started to go very much to the outside in order to understand ourselves. We ask questions to everybody outside, to therapists, to doctors, to even card readers, to clairvoyants. We trust other people to tell us about us and what we need more than we trust ourselves. And I think it is a beautiful practice to be able to reconnect with our own wisdom and start listening in first. And then when we need help to put it in context or get more direction or, of course, more knowledge, then there is a way of talking to the outside. So it's a direct way of communication with your own spirit and with spirit around us. We journey for clarity, we journey for connecting to the inner wisdom, we journey to receive healing, guidance from or answers to questions which we might have. And we do that in order to create an understanding, a better context, to have a more balanced and more informed outlook at life, maybe to find some distance from a very overwhelming experience, to find some distance from our emotions also in order to be able to communicate better and to participate better in society and in our relationships and create harmony in our life. So when we talk about journeying, we're talking about techniques which are including or practicing within the understanding of shamanic context. So within the shamanic context, the shamanic cosmology will talk about ordinary reality and non-ordinary reality. Ordinary reality is where we are today, here in our lives, in the present. Non-ordinary reality is more the area where there is deeper knowing, where there is intuition, where there is where we receive from more than just one sense. So not left brain, but right brain, very much. We will then journey from the ordinary reality into non-ordinary reality in order to do our communication. When we go to non-ordinary reality, the cosmology of shamanic teaching creates or understands the non-ordinary reality primarily in three sections: the lower world, the middle world, and the upper world. Within all of these sections, there are different areas, but this is the sort of most basic way of looking at it. Now, when we talk about lower world and upper world, it isn't a judgment, it isn't a better or worse, it is simply a different quality of energy, and we will meet different elements and we will meet different teachers in these different places. So the lower world is very much the area inside of the earth. That's how we visualize it. So we will go to more the earth spirits and the animal spirits and the animal teachers. In the upper world, it is more like more what we understand under esoteric, the angels, like more a subtle kind of environment. The middle world is the copy, if you want, the energetic copy of our now reality. Although we don't have a sense of space or time within the middle world, but it is an area where you will find all sorts of energies and with personal motivation. So it's an area which we need to really know well how to journey and how to work with our spirit guides in order to visit. The lower world and the upper world is an area where you find compassionate beings. You will find those beings and those teachers and those spirits there in order to communicate and co-create with us in harmony for our better good. So that's the areas where we will first journey in order to get some experience, where we don't need to worry about who and what we are meeting in these areas or being in contact with. So when we speak about journeying, we will need three elements which are always present. So first of all, we need a doorway, and this is when we go into the lower world. When we need a doorway into the earth, then we have a pathway, and we will find, at the end, we will come out at a place which we call the power spot. So these three elements will always stay the same when you journey. So the first thing you need for that, you need to think of a place in nature or which you have visited. Mostly in nature, we talk, it could be a tree, it could be a big rock, something which gives you like an entry point into the earth. So it could be at the base of a tree when you see the roots. It could be a source or any body of water. It could be a cave or a volcano. It can be something which you have visited. It doesn't need to be in the backyard or somewhere where you can physically go every day, but it has to exist in this world. It's not an imaginary point. It's something you know. And it is there, the doorway is an important part to then, when you journey, to really be the point into where you go into the non-ordinary reality, or where you can come back from and return into ordinary reality. This is your access point. And therefore it is a point which you should be feeling comfortable and safe, but also which you know. Then as you journey, you will come to this point and you will then enter the earth to this point. And once you entered, you will find a passageway, which could be a tunnel, is often referred to as a tunnel, Could be stairs, could be a underground water running. It could be a waterfall. It could be a slide of light which goes down or up for the upper world, but in this way down. So you want something which carries you down into the ground. And as you do this, particularly in your very first journey, you will continue this passageway, and at some point you will come out somewhere. And that is your power spot. And the power spot is also, as it is in the non-ordinary reality, it can be anything. It is a combination of things which are generally nurturing to you. You could be finding yourself in a place of nature. You could be finding yourself with elements of fire or water or trees or whatever there. It might, however, also be simply a place of feeling, a particular place where you feel comfortable. Not everybody sees images when you journey. So it could be something, just a state of mind or a state of being comfortable. So it's always good to not to expect the first time too much, but to allow yourself to be moved towards that place. So again, doorway, passageway, power spot, as we go in the lower world. When we go to the upper world, you will have to have something, or you will visualize something which brings us up into the universe, although we're going not quite to the universe, but another place, but this is the direction. So it could be the smoke of a fire. It could be a rainbow. It could be a sunbeam which comes through the clouds. It could be an animal. Often we're thinking of birds which carry us up there. As you move up, 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 that would be similar to the passageway when you go into the lower world. As you're moving up, you want then to come to a point where you have, often it is referred to as a feeling of a membrane. And it's this kind of feeling that you're actually moving from one room or space into another. So there's a slight resistance. There's this feeling that you're going through a membrane, and then you will come to the upper world. And the feeling in the upper world you will immediately notice is very subtle. It's angelic. Anyway, it presents itself to every person slightly different, but the general idea is reported to be the same for everybody. So two places, lower world, upper world, both of which you will have a point of departing, a way to get there, passageway, and then a place where you get to, which would be considered your power spot. If you are choosing to go to the lower world or the upper world, that's up to you. Sometimes it's directed also with the kind of teachers you want to meet, or something which is a preference for you, or you let yourself be, you let your soul or your imagination choose which area you're drawn to most. Today, we will go into the lower world. The way we journey is by a sonic, what's the word? Sonic porteur in French, carrier. And here the carrier is the drum. Now the drum bead is a very particular bead which allows your brain waves to go into the deep meditation relaxation position. Now, here's to be noticed, you won't be going into trance. So when you journey, you will be aware of the outside. You might hear a dog bark, or you might hear a car go by, or you're definitely aware of your body, of your physical body. That is normal. That is not because you're not doing it right, but this is normal. So we then have a particular beating of the drum. The drum will play all the way along as you're doing your journey. I will not speak. This form of journey is something where you know the steps you're going, you know your intention, and then you go carried by the sound of the drum into your visualization, and you will receive all the images of feelings, which all of that is included when we say communication with spirit. So the drum will play, and when the journey is finished, The beat will change. There will be 4 times a beat of 7, and then a very fast drumming, which is the callback. When you hear the callback or the change of the beating, you will finish your conversation. You will say thank you to whatever spirit you're talking to, and you will turn around and come back the same way you came, down or up. So it's important to come the same way, and it's important to come out the same door as you entered. So you will have your callback, and then as you're coming back, you will return into your body, and when you wake up, you will write down your what you've received, just like in a dream. In fact, dreaming is a really very strong parallel to shamanic journeying, so you can sort of take it in the same way. That includes how will you perceive, what will you see, what can you expect when you journey. Now, as I said, you will have consciousness of your body being present in the room. You will have maybe some noises which you will perceive. So it is really a practice of allowing yourself to be deeply relaxed and to be receptive. Not everybody sees. Some people just know. It might be a thought, it might be an idea, it might be a feeling, it might be just an impression. So don't think you're going to go like to the movies. Okay, not everybody perceives like that at all. The idea is that you are collecting the information at the same time that you are interactive. So we're not just floating in air and just watching a great thing going on, but we're actually asking a question. And if we receive an answer, we continue in the conversation, possibly. We could be maybe asking to have images which are more clear, or an understanding which is more clear. But we try not to understand completely everything which we receive while we are in the journey. We're trying to stay open and collect at the same time that we're directing ourselves, if that makes any sense. So I will show you the drumming. So as you journey, this is the drumming speed. The change of the drumming and the change of the rhythm will be four times. And then the beat for coming back. That will be your callback. What else should I tell you before? Yes, how do you journey? Your position for journeying, it's however you'd like to be. Your body should be relaxed so that you are not struggling. You can sit up. It's a lot of people journey while they sit up, but they sit comfortably somewhere, leaning or being supported. You can lie down, but no problem. You could lie on your sofa, on your bed. Just make sure that you don't feel like you're falling asleep. Okay, if you risk to fall asleep, then obviously you won't be able to collect your images and your impressions. But so what you want to do is you want to be in a position where you don't fall asleep, but your body is very relaxed and comfortable. Ideally, you want to cover your eyes to have some darkness, because often we see better that way. You can turn off the light, or simply also if we have something on our eyes, often we relax deeper. So whatever works for you is good. So I repeat, when the drum starts, you will be you will be in your position of relaxation. And when the drum starts, your intention is to have an experience of the doorway, the pathway, passageway, and your power spot. And when it's ready, you're coming back. You will, in your mind, with visualization, find yourself at your doorway, which you have chosen. You will use it to enter into the earth. You will discover what kind of doorway and passageway you may have, and what it looks like coming from your doorway through the passage. And then at some point, you will come at a space. And that's like discovering a new apartment. You just sit there or you just walk around and you find what is there, what is present. And if it's not something visual, you stay in that space and you perceive. You think, how does it make you feel? What kind of thoughts come? You know, that kind of thing. You may meet a teacher, mostly in animal form, when you're going to the lower well. If you do, whenever we meet a teacher for communication, we will always ask, what is your medicine? What is your power? What is your strength? What do you carry, which you are sharing with me? And anyway, that would be another whole other video, the relationship between our teachers and us. So for today, we stay simply as making a discovery of your doorway, your passageway, your power spot, following the beating of the drum. What else can I tell you? What should I tell you? Let's leave it like that. Right, so we have to do a little adjustment in the last recording, the one which you just saw. You saw maybe it's the same background, I'm dressed the same way, it's the same day, but it didn't work. The sound is really not good in that recording, so I am sliding in this section of the journey drumming. Now you will be listening to a studio recording of my drum. You will see me drum, because this is what I do always on the virtual journeys. I'll play my drum in order to send the energy, in order to support with the medicine of my drum. But the actual sound you will hear is a recording. So you ready for your journey? And I will start the recording and you can journey. And you would sit up and take your notes, just like in a dream. It's important to write it down immediately, because like in a dream, we think we remember and we don't. In the end, we forget details. I encourage to be very focused, to have a structure in writing down, rather than telling everything which you've seen. In order to make sense, go with the first feeling, maybe one word or two words to describe the character of your journey. It was very relaxing, it was stimulating, it was inspiring, those kind of things. The second one, I would say, try to write it in one sentence, two sentences. I was shown a solution to. I was asked to do certain things. I received a message and an understanding of, that kind of stuff. And then you write down the details. Things which grabbed you, things which you may not understand. Don't judge it. Don't try to immediately analyze it. Just write it down as it comes. And then afterwards, there is integration. Now, if you are coming out of a journey, and for those who are live, please, just turn off the sound of my voice. I will tell you again in a minute. If you've come out of a journey, just press pause, write down your journey, and then I just am going to mention a couple of things which I think are important, or which I'd like to mention after. Okay, you can listen to that after later on. So first of all, intention. We always journey with an intention. We never just journey to hang out. The intention can be extremely simple. When you don't always have to ask big, difficult questions or find solutions. That is not the only reason or even the main reason to journey. But you could simply say, I'm very tired, I need to be relaxed, or I need to resource myself, I need to receive energy, if you want. So you would go to your power spot, simply to relax there. Okay, that could be the most simple. So up to the upper world, to be in the upper world at a place of comfort and relax there and receive healing. But we never just drift. Okay, and the way we ask questions also to our teachers, to spirit guide, is a whole art in itself, and can be discovered and learned and experienced and worked on for a long time. So that comes with experience. Okay, also there's often the thought, yeah, I got a whole lot of ideas, but that's my mind, that's not messages. That is normal also. You will get used to that. Okay, sometimes the message is such that it doesn't come from anywhere else. And even if it's your mind, if it helps you, just start it like this. Does it matter if it's your mind or not? Just so that you don't get a conflict. You don't want to have energies opposing you while you journey, or while you are trying to learn and to regain comfort in the communication with your own wisdom and the wisdom of others. What else did I wanted to say? Yes, the intention, and just to get used, the more often you do it, the better it is. Preparation of your journey. Now, when you're coming home from outside work and you have like 15 minutes before the kids come back from school and you're thinking, oh, I'm going to do a quick journey, then your ability to receive and your relaxation, the ability to go into that brainwave where you're more receptive with your intuition, it's going to be much more difficult than if you know that you have time, that you walked in the nature, you did something in order to relax yourself, in order to be more receptive. So I always open the circle. I always do a visualization. You will find it on my site. There's but there is quite a bit of information freely accessible. So when you go to the site, please just look for Shamanic Journeying, and all the links to recordings are there. Equally, the last thing, if this drumming quality was bad, which often in Zoom and on the recording with the computer, it isn't the highest quality. If you find it very irritating, there are many different recordings. I have a more professional recording also on my site in the section of Shamanic Journeying, but also when you type it in, you will, when you type Shamanic Journeying with callback, you will have many different ways. Just make sure it is not a journey where they guide you visualization during the journey, because that's a different type. So I hope that was a good experience for you. Please feel free anytime to contact me if you have questions. I invite you to participate in a journey circle if you haven't done that before. Because a group setting, even if it's an online group setting, is bringing in a whole other experience and support. And of course, you will have then also people sharing their journeys and their techniques, and you will have inspiration from that. But you will also have someone who guides the journey, who can help you with some interpretation of your journey, or certainly with some of the techniques, maybe if you're not 100% sure if you're doing it right.